Okay guys, we are here with Adrian Portia in our... How is the name of the program? I forgot the name of the program.
Tuning show.
Tuning show.
The tuning show.
Okay. You found the name.
We are in the tuning show with Adrian Portia.
Hello.
Hello, man.
Hey, man.
How are you?
Good.
3 years, huh?
3 years.
not
3
seeing
years
you.
since I've been here.
Yes.
Yeah. Long time.
And
Long
how's
time.
everything?
Good, good. Yeah, it's good to be back. It's good to hear the water is still working in the plumbing here.
Yeah, we have water effects. Yeah, if you don't know, guys, our living room sessions, we have sometimes waterfall effects.
Yeah.
You need to come to see it. And what's news? Tell me what's new.
What's new? Yeah, you know, still playing a lot of handpan, traveling around a lot, doing many shows around the world, which is always great. Good fun, meeting many people, sharing this instrument with you know a lot of different audiences, which has been great. And yeah, just enjoying it, progressing, learning, you know, still pushing to develop on the instrument and having good fun.
Yes, cool, yeah. You know, what I remember from him is this guy playing every corner in my house, in here in the workshop, wherever. If you know Adrian Portia, you know that he will be morning to the night playing the instrument. And it's still like that, because I see this here around.
Try to work.
Well, it's been a long time. I needed to play somewhere. So, some of these instruments, all these new instruments, I had to try them.
You used to be a drummer.
Yeah. I was playing drums. I started learning when I was about 9.5, 10 years old. And then I joined a band when I was 12. And then I joined my father's band when I was 13. And started touring around, playing every weekend, you know, professional gigs. Since I was 13. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So you have a family musician.
Yeah, my father is a keyboard player and singer. My auntie's a singer. My brother's a bass player. My uncle was a bass player. So my father had bands from years ago, you know, earlier on, and then I joined the band. We started a band together, and we had different musicians, but a lot of family, all part of music. And
cool. And what style of music?
We were playing just cover stuff. So we were doing clubs and weddings and corporate things. So it was more like dance stuff, but also some Italian music because that's my heritage. So my father would sing Italian songs, and my aunts as well, and yeah, so we were doing a mix of stuff. So it was good. Yeah, a lot of experience there.
And then the handpan appeared in your life. How was
Yeah,
this?
the handpan came into my life nearly 6 years ago now. Yeah, I mean, I first saw one. Everyone has this story, you know, but I first saw the handpan in 2008 on YouTube. When you,
and that's
there's
the
water.
water effect, waterfall for you guys.
So relaxing here at the living room session, you know, the tuning room, the tuning show. So yeah, I got my first instrument in August 2013, but I first saw the handpan or the hung in 2008 on YouTube. I saw David Swarup playing in Amsterdam. I think everyone saw this video. And you know, I was like, oh my God, where's this instrument? My cousin showed me the video because I'd never seen it before. And I went, wow, you know, like amazed by it. So I started watching. There wasn't many video clips back then because that's when YouTube really started. So I think there was Swarup, maybe Daniel Waples come up, and a few others. And I started researching about the instrument, and then I found out the process, how to get one. I'm like, oof, like how do you get one? You know, like what do you write? What's this letter you write? You know, and there was really only a couple of makers then. I mean, there was Panart, there was Halo started coming in, and then Bells, I think. So I kind of, you know, I started going through like this moments where it's like every few months I would get obsessed with it again, watching all the videos, the same ones over and over again. And I remember that hung because it had that high C. It was like a D minor, but it had the high C. And every time you go to that high C, it really resonated with me, you know. And I was like, if I get one, I want one like that scale, D minor with the high C. And it's funny because when I met David, I actually got to play that instrument, which was really cool.
Okay.
Yeah, he let me play because he's like, hey, bro, I don't really let a lot of people play this instrument, you know. And he let me play it. So thank you, David, if you see this. Thank you for letting me play it. Little dream come true there. But yeah, you know, and I got my first instrument in August 2013, which was that scale. And then shortly after, actually, maybe 6 months, I got an AsaChan.
Was a hung as well?
No, it was David's Island Instruments. Symphonette, little symphonette.
Okay.
And then I got a Ezahn, and then I was very fortunate that a friend of Ezahn's put my name forward to Ezahn back then, and you built me. Ezahn's behind the camera there.
Yes. Always.
I think
It was John. It was John.
New Zealand, no?
No. Well, yeah, Henry, but Jonathan Heaven.
Yes.
Yeah, well, Jonathan Heaven mentioned, and also I think Henry as well from New Zealand. They had spoken to Ezahn, and then I kind of was lucky enough to have my name put forward, and then I think Ezahn maybe watched some videos and ended up building me the C-sharp Anaziska, which became quite well known with my piece Minkara. So I think that's got nearly 6 million views now, which is pretty cool.
And you came to get it, or
he shipped it. He shipped it, and so yeah, that was that instrument. Thank you, Ezahn. That instrument changed a lot of things for me. You know, just with the way that I approached playing the instrument and learning on it, and you know, a bit more composition stuff, and yeah, it was a really special instrument actually. I let it go, but I know it's in good hands now. So yeah.
How long takes for you have the instruments and you start to come here to Europe, or that you start to come to the festivals? How was these starting?
Yeah, I think, I mean, when I first started playing, like I spent a month really like just so dedicated, like just every day, you know, hours and hours, really trying to understand this instrument. And I think I put my first video out in like October of 2013. And then, you know, I think obviously it was earlier days, you know, so my style was a little bit different, and bringing something fresh to it. So through the forum and just the community, people started to see what I was doing. And I think the first festival I went to was Hangout USA. Yeah. And then from there, I started traveling a lot more, which was great, you know, and then started to do a lot of the handpan events and all that stuff. It's been fun, you know. And
so it start actually in the YouTube. You start to have the visibility in.
Yeah, YouTube and the forum, when the forum was popular.
The power,
yeah. So through that, you post your videos there and on YouTube, and yeah, I mean that's how I got seen, I suppose, and also you know, coming into the community and interacting with everyone a little bit more. But through that's it, and then yeah, people started knowing me, and yeah.
But how was the transition for you for these the drums to the handpan? Because at that time we didn't have yet kind of a school of how to play. Of course, we had some big players, especially in the YouTube, that showing people. and then you come with your own style. How, for me, this was the magic of the beginning of the handpan. That is an instrument that it's up to you to get how you play it, and you made it, and you get your name there because of that. And you think that the drums connected?
Yeah, I think, you know, obviously having percussion background, drumming and everything, it helped. But I know that, you know, like anything, any instrument, in essence, it's its own instrument, you know. And for me, when I came to this, I didn't think about drums. Obviously, I brought in techniques and things like that sort of came from there. But I really sort of wanted to understand, what is this instrument?
Yes.
You know, what is the important factors of this, how to play this instrument? So for me, and it still is today, touch. You know, the touch was a really big thing that I worked on and continue to work on, because I feel that that's what really translates, you know, what you can do on this instrument. You know, you can play crazy things, but if you don't have a good touch, it's maybe not going to sound so good. So for me, it's always about being totally in control of the instrument, that I can let go and be free. So I spent a lot of time really developing this element, you know, touch. So it was, I mean, obviously being a drummer, you know, having all these technique things helped to develop stuff. But for me, I looked at the instrument as a totally new thing. It was like blank canvas, you know, really like, okay, what do I need to do in order to play this thing? Yeah,
because one of the big difference between the drums and this instrument is that in this instrument you have the very melodic characteristics. And when you get it, this was a challenge for you, for the melody. You already play guitar or something?
No, I never played. You know, I was just a drummer.
This was the first melodic instrument you get.
Yeah, it was. So that was again a beautiful thing for me, because it started to open up my musicality more as well, and you know, it continues to do that. So it was a life-changing instrument for me in many ways, not just from the experiences that I've had through the instrument with traveling and meeting many people, but also musically, you know, it changed a lot of things for me.
Okay. And what you would say that's the biggest difference from the Adrian there and the Adrian now? About your music or your style?
The difference?
Yes. There was a moment that you had like a change in your style, or you think that you go on approaching one style and getting better in this way?
I think I've gone through different stages, as most people would. Obviously, everything you learn, it's like having a little toolbox. You know, you have all those tools in there that you can bring out. But for me lately, I mean, I even changed my approach to the shows that I like, the performances that I do. I don't compose anything anymore for performances. I say what I call is a sound journey now. So I literally will do a performance that is totally improvised. So I really dig deep within myself to create music in the moment. So it's always different. So for me, it's a challenge as a musician, and on this instrument to really create something out of nothing. You know, and to do that performance after performance after performance. I'm enjoying it. It's working for me, and it really, I feel like it's helping me translate something which I always felt with this instrument is very healing. You know, the sound, the you know, the whole frequencies and everything. So that's what I'm doing. I changed quite a few things. I'm always experimenting. I'm always trying to do different things, because I'm committed to learning the craft, you know, really seeing what can we do with this instrument. So I think I'm continually going through stages and never satisfied, you know.
Yes. But that's when you never stop. I'm happy, it's finished. Like us, for making instrument, we are all the time trying to push it, because I really believe that if you arrive in a perfect instrument, or what you think is a perfect instrument, then you stop to develop. So it's good to be like never happy. I want more. I want more. I really like this, and on you, it's very clear that, you know, your energy is total in this direction.
Cool, man. Thanks.
Another thing that's completely different, it's this moment that you go to record your own music. You have how many CDs you have already?
Well, I only have one on this instrument. I only have one CD. I've taken my time for the next one. I am looking to create a new album next year. I feel it's time. I feel that I've, you know, developed more so where I want to be in this moment. So it's time next year to create another one. But I've done a lot of projects behind the scene, you know, that some haven't been released. There's music sitting there that sort of needs to be finished. So I've done a lot of stuff because I did a lot of collaborations over the last couple of years as well with some, like, you know, some really amazing musicians. So there is some music that's going to come out.
Okay.
It's just it's just with all the traveling and many other things, and you know, handpan is not the only thing in my life.
Yes.
You know, I work in music in other ways. I play drums, I percussion, I DJ as well. You know, so I have bands back home. So when I'm not playing or I'm traveling, I'm working, you know, in music still, but not just always the handpan. You know,
Okay.
even though I do play. The thing is, when I'm overseas, you know, especially because I'm from Australia, you know, I'm like the guy from down under. You know, I don't get to see you guys often, you know,
Yes.
and all the friends that I've made here overseas and stuff. So when it's like festivals or whatever, man, I want to play all the instruments. I want to hang out with everyone and just, you know, I play a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cool. And these, you want to talk a little bit of these projects?
Yeah.
These connections, which because you used to play alone. And now with this, what you search when you are playing with another person, you are really about instruments. What fits in for your ears this instrument? Because I have been listening people playing with bass.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds very good.
Yeah.
Violin, it's quite often we listen works very well. Also,
Yeah.
there is an instrument that you really like to mix with that.
Yeah, I mean, you just said one, the bass. Yeah, I actually did I worked with an amazing bass player called Yannick Wizdala. And yeah, I don't know if it's going to get released. I hope it does, but the bass, you know, it actually works really well with the headband.
Yes,
Yeah, really well. I also I did some shows in Canada last year with another bass player named Justin Gray, amazing bass player, and he's designed an instrument called the bass vina, and it's like a sitar and a acoustic bass, like all mixed into one. Really amazing. So we did 2 shows in Canada. And that was another great experience, and sound-wise, really something special. So we've been talking about getting together to do more things together, a project. So I really hope I can do that, because I think this instrument's so unique, and I feel like to have other unique instruments incorporated, that just sets up a whole new color. You know, it's like a whole new thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm sort of aiming for. It's like I want to find other unique instruments that are maybe not so known and integrate with this instrument. Yeah.
And from us, what you expect from the makers?
From the makers, probably 100 notes on one instrument is the new thing now, right? 100 notes.
Everywhere.
Maybe you go back to like the original one, the big one, and just put like 1,000 notes on it.
Yes.
No, I think from the makers, I think, you know, most of the makers I know, they're dedicated to the craft, to really, they want to make the best instrument that they can.
Yes.
And, you know, I think we just have to all be patient to let everyone go on their journey as players, as makers, and just, you know, let it evolve as it's going to evolve. It's still a new instrument,
Yes,
you know, and it's still
total.
new under the hand. Yeah.
We like to really believe that this kind of a prototype, because it's I feel that if I treat as a prototype, I can change all the time.
Yeah.
We can move, we can try. You try some different oven styles that you like in here.
Yeah.
So it's like that, and it's as more open is it, as far away we can go. I feel it.
Yeah. I mean, I think I would just say, you know, try and stay. I know how hard it is to build these instruments and the work and heart that goes into it. And, you know, I think to try, what I would say to the makers is just, you know, stay passionate for the craft, because as a musician and as a player and a lover of this instrument, we need you guys, you know. And so, yeah, I think just stay as passionate as you can. Don't burn yourself out.
No. We love to do it, and when you love to do something, it becomes easy. It becomes a pleasure, really a pleasure. Like the whole process for me is a pleasure. And when we end, it was something that I see when I start with Ezahn as well. You see that it's a kind of you are with the hammer there, kind of fighting at the beginning when you are not actually understanding, and after you get the hammer and you start to dance with the metal. And it's so nice, because sometimes I will not let you get there, and you just go on dancing, and when you finish a note, man, you have
there it is.
and then it's a
it's a pleasure.
it's a pleasure. It's
Yeah.
really a pleasure, and especially when you guys come and you get the instruments that you expected, and you play it, and we see in your face the happiness. And when we come to the concert and you see the people happy by you guys playing, because this is very nice also. We make the instruments, but you guys give life to it by playing in the stage, in YouTube, wherever. And this is very nice when we listen our instruments being played and making people chill, and this is very cool. And we are with this guy, we need to listen him playing. You mentioned the touch that you in the beginning you were trying to develop that. How is it? And now in this new era of the handpan, we have different material, especially the difference between the carbon steel and the stainless steel, but also especially here in the EchoSoundSculpture we have the 1mm or the 1.25 millimeters, and we have other guys doing other things also. How you feel this to the touch?
I mean, they definitely all feel different, you know. And something I notice, because I'm so really involved in this feeling about touch and everything, when I play an instrument, I can, some instruments they react. The steel reacts differently.
Yes.
For me personally, I really like an instrument that has a little bit more sponginess to it, it's what I call air in the steel. It feels like when you strike the note, you can feel that vibration a little bit more. It's not really super tight. I mean, they all have, you can really feel different materials. Stainless steel has a different feeling to the touch. Certain carbon materials, depending on the nitrating, when they're really long, they tend to be harder under the hands, under the fingers. As a player, you can feel the difference. Definitely, yeah. And
you have a preference, or you would say that for this kind of music I like more this one? You would say in this direction?
Yeah, I think I think for more percussive stuff, the tighter instruments can work well. But I think when you want to play more like melodic and ambient kind of, the long sustain and that, I prefer an instrument that has that bit more sponginess to it. When you strike it, it helps with playing more dynamically. I think, with your touch, to really, you can really play it soft and really increase your volume much more, because it's almost like you have this threshold, within the note, like the membrane itself, it vibrates more. So, I mean, I look at it in a science kind of way, like this. So I feel the difference a lot, like that.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think overall, I prefer one that is a little bit softer under the touch,
And how is with the stainless steel?
Stainless steel, I think stainless, you guys are doing some good stuff with stainless. A lot of makers are using stainless now, and seems to be getting good results. Obviously, the biggest benefit I think is the sustain.
Yeah.
stainless can do. I know it's also can be quite a difficult material to work with, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. I like some stainless instruments, definitely. Yeah.
Let's try this one here.
Okay.
And another thing that was it's interesting to ask you, especially that you have a style of play that also you try to develop the speed. Huh?
Yeah.
This is something that is very nice to see your first videos. You see one of the first very fast young guys,
Yeah.
and then suddenly appeared what they call out there mutants.
Mhm.
This was a new thing. You like it? How was this?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's part of the evolution of the instrument, the evolution of the players. I think the Mutant is great. Obviously, having more notes is always having that ability to expand even with one note, like one instrument, rather than having to have more.
Yes.
But for me, I still really like a really good 8 or 9 noter.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think obviously there's some makers that are doing great stuff with Mutants. But there's always just something missing. I don't know. It's the more notes you put on there, it just sucks some life out of it.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. And so for me, I really enjoy that warm 8-9 noter.
Yes,
Yeah. It's just like that perfect balance.
I think if you ask the makers, they would say this direction also. Of course, that for do them, it's very nice because it's one of the challenge. So let's try to do this squeeze, do the notes a little smaller to fit as much. But for the sound, to the pure of the sound, that you have an instrument that you play each note and it's just there. I also have the feeling that 8 notes in the big size, or when you do the small ones, the 7 note also. Some scale is perfectly 7 notes. You don't need something else.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy.
Yeah.
But I would like to go out of the handpan world and ask, what's your hobby? What you like to do when you are not playing music in the toilet, in the kitchen?
Oh wow. I mean, obviously I do a lot of stuff with music still, even outside of the handpan and everything. But I used to do a lot of cycling. I like getting in nature, and just enjoying that. I don't mind playing video games sometimes, just to chill, take my mind away from things. A little bit of knitting, I'm just I might like to make scarves for people for Christmas. No. I think traveling and enjoying food, trying different food and stuff. Just trying to connect a little bit more with nature, something that I'm really been working on a lot more and trying to implement in my life, more so, yeah.
Where you are there in Australia?
I'm near Melbourne. My home base is near Melbourne. I work in Melbourne though, so I'm in the country basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Going in this direction of the nature, we know that you have been vegan for a long time already. Huh?
Yeah, 10 years. Yeah.
And how is this? Is from your family or where you started?
My vegan journey happened. My older brother was actually really sick back in 2008, 2009, and he went through a lot of struggles. And through some other friends, we learnt about plant-based eating. And myself and my younger brother were there to say support to my older brother. So we learnt about this different way of eating, and he started implementing it. We started doing it because it made sense to us, and his health started coming back. So we realized the power within food. So I went into a plant-based and vegan lifestyle. So I mean, plant-based eating and more vegan lifestyle. I don't contribute, or do my best not to contribute to any sort of animal products and harm and stuff.
Yeah, you were one of the first guys that I remember. I think you were here in a workshop, and someone else asked about which oil I should put in the instrument, and you just get the coconut oil and say, if you can eat, it's good.
You remember that?
I remember much this.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay.
But now I use Phoenix oil. So, and if you want a good oil, make sure you check out Phoenix oil because it's really good. But the coconut oil still works too.
It still works.
If I'm really desperate, you know, a little bit here, a little bit on the instrument, you know.
But I think the Phoenix oil you can also eat.
Yeah, it's like 99.9% veggie or something.
Okay.
So Benny and Aleph have done a really great job with that product for sure.
Yes. We have them here as well.
Yeah, great. Good.
Cool. Hey man, good to see you.
Same.
Now finish for you guys, but we go on because we're gonna bring him in the nature now. Cool. Yes.
This is really great.
So let's listen some music. How you guys getting music first, huh? Because I think music came first in instruments for you, huh? That's all, folks. Thank you for watching. That was all for today. And stay tuned for more. We come back soon. Remember to subscribe and hit the bell.
Ding, 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 ding.